this happen.
Before I let this get this lesson started, I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh, and double honor to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, whom I learned from. And a shalom to all the hopefully elect brothers taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect of Yashar Allah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Adah with a short lesson. I'm going to mostly let this video play. It's going into, how can I say this? It's everything's being revealed, right? So this is a video that shows a guy that shows 10 newspapers in a period from 1915 to 1938. Okay, that's about what? 28. That's about just over 20 years of mental preparation in the press, talking about 6 million Jews leading up to 1948, which is the Balfour Declaration, which can be found in prophecy, pinpointing the Idumeans, and the Idumeans, the word Idumea being the Greek word for Edom, which is the so-called white man today. And the tribe Amalek, which is the head tribe of Edom, are the group of people who specifically have claimed to be the Jews, the tribe of Judah. And this is proof that they were preparing the minds of people through their device known as the press. And they were doing it. It took about 20 years for them to put this in the minds of the people, that they were already putting the number 6 million in the minds of the people using the newspaper. So I'm going to let this play. This is physical evidence of how they've lied. And then I'm going to get some precepts that prove that it was prophesied in scriptures that they would do this. It's called the Controversy of Zion.
He has 10 newspapers where these Jews are pushing this 6 million figure between the years of 1915 and 1938. The first newspaper.
And notice how he said Jews. They're not Jews. They're Amalekites. And they wouldn't, if they were the true seed, if they were the true Hebrew Israelites, they wouldn't be using the newspaper to put it into the minds of the heathen who they are. They would be breaking down the precepts and the scriptures and the prophecies from the Bible and the Apocrypha, not using their own written method to seduce and enchant the people's minds, using the newspapers over a period of time. What method is this? Where have you ever seen Ezekiel, Hosea, Jeremiah, any of the prophets do this method to bring about the truth? No, you haven't. I'll let it continue.
Is the Sun of New York. New York, June the 6th, 1915. That is the Sun. It's the first page of the 5th section that I want. And there we go. The Sun, it's a bit ripped along there, so it'll come off a bit. The 5th section is the front page. And the article is called Horrors Worse than Kishinev, Charged Against Russia Today. And there's the big article, takes up most of the page. So go in, yeah. Go. Since the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, the Jewish people have had no darker page in their history than that which the Russian government is writing today. 6 million Jews, one half of the Jewish people throughout the world, are being persecuted, hounded, humiliated.
I'm going to stop it one more time and I'm going to let it play. There are not 12 million Jews on the planet Earth like they've also taught. The scripture said we are innumerable like the sand of the sea when you include all 12 tribes. So they have this narrative that they've put in the earth that there's only 12 million Jews in the whole planet, and that 6 million of them were killed during 1948 or during World War II. That's also a lie. The scriptures say that we are innumerable like the sand of the sea when you're dealing with all 12 tribes, the northern and southern kingdom. It's another fucking lie. I'll let it continue.
Tortured, starved. Thousands of them have been slaughtered. Hundreds of thousands of Jews, old men, women and children, are being driven mercilessly from town to town. There it is, people. 6 million Jews. One half of the Jewish people throughout the world are being persecuted, hounded, humiliated, tortured and starved. As I go along here, support here as well. Dear brethren, have mercy on the 6 million Jews in Russia and take our part. Once again, 6 million Jews in Russia. 6 million. This is an article entitled Horrors Worse in Kishinev Charged Against Russia Today. That's in the Sun of New York, Sunday, June the 6th, 1915. This is 18 years before Hitler ever set foot in the government. 18 years. This is the next newspaper. It's the New York Times again. It's from 1918. There it is. The New York Times. October the 18th, 1918. It's page 12 that I want. There we go. Page 12. Page 12. The New York Times. October the 18th, 1918. And the article is called $1 billion fund to rebuild Jewry. There it is. 6 million souls will need help to resume normal life when war is ended. 6 million souls. As I go down the article here, here's again. 6 million Jews need help. 6 million. 6 million Jews need help. There's an article called $1 billion fund to rebuild Jewry. That is in the New York Times, October the 18th, 1918. The next newspaper is the New York Times again. The New York Times, September the 8th, 1919. It's page 6 that I want. There we go. Page 6. Page 6. The New York Times, September the 8th, 1919, and the article is called Ukrainian Jews Aim to Stop Pogroms. Mass meeting hears that 127,000 Jews have been killed and 6 million are in peril. 6 million. As I go down the article, there it is. We come out now before the world with a determined slogan, those pogroms must stop, said the President in his annual message. It is only a question of holding these facts continually before the civilized world. We must not permit the world to slumber. This fact that the population of 6 million souls in Ukraine and in Poland have received notice through action and by word that they are going to be completely exterminated. You literally cannot make this up. 6 million souls completely exterminated. 6 million. There's an article called Ukrainian Jews Aim to Stop Pogroms in the New York Times, September the 8th, 1919. It's 13 and a half years before Hitler came to power. This is the next newspaper. This is the New York Times again. The New York Times, the date, November the 12th, 1919. It's page 7 that I want on here. There you go. Page 7 in the New York Times, November the 12th, 1919. The article is called Tells Sad Plight of Jews. Felix M. Warburg says they were the worst sufferers in the war. It is here. The successive blows of contending armies have all but broken the back of the European Jewry, he said, and have reduced to tragically unbelievable poverty, starvation and disease about 6 million souls, or half the Jewish population of the earth. 6 million. 6 million souls, or half the Jewish population of the earth. I'll go further down the article so you can read the rest of it. There is again, people. Unbelievable poverty, starvation and disease. About 6 million souls, or half the Jewish population of the earth. In the article entitled, Tells Sad Plight of Jews, in the New York Times, November the 12th, 1919. The next newspaper is the Atlanta Constitution from 1920, February 23rd, 1920. The article's on the front page here. It's called $50,000.
And I want you to remember, you guys, back when these newspapers were being printed, I remember back in the 70s, and we had television, every adult read the newspaper. It was like an addiction to coffee. Now, just imagine, before the television was invented, or when it was back in the 20s, it was, I don't even think the television was invented yet, or it was just coming out. So anyone and anyone that could read, that was the internet back then. Everybody read these papers from front to fucking back. Women went into the papers for coupons. You could get tons of sales. I was a paper boy back when I was 12. There were some, I think Wednesday and Sunday were the papers that had all the coupons in it, and they were the biggest papers because of the coupons. Everybody went crazy for those coupons. This was back then. It's not like that as much now. But you have to remember, so this information was being spread through all the minds of people because this was the only form of information that was spreading, this and the radio. So everybody was getting this into their minds. It was all being programmed into them, man.
Ways in city to save suffering Jews. And it goes along the bottom. Continued on page 3, column 4. So I'll go to page 3. There we go. Constitution of Atlanta, February 23rd, 1920. There it is. $50,000 raised to save suffering Jews. Continued from first page. I'll go down. He called upon the Atlanta Jews to arise to the occasion and to contribute to the emergency fund in order that the lives of 6 million of Jewish people may be saved. 6 million of Jewish people may be saved. I'll go further down. Rabbi Mark speaks. Rabbi Marx made an eloquent plea for generous responses to the call of the representatives of the Jewish Relief Fund. He drew a graphic picture of the starvation and suffering of the 6 million Jews who live in Eastern Europe and Palestine. 6 million Jews. Thousands upon thousands of our people have died of starvation and pestilence, and thousands more will die, he said. There it is, people. 6 million Jews. In an article entitled $50,000 raised to save suffering Jews in the Constitution of Atlanta, February 23rd, 1920. This is the next newspaper. This is the New York Times. This is from 1920. There we go. The New York Times. The date, Friday, May the 7th, 1920. It's page 11 that I want. There we go. Page 11. Page 11. The article is called "The Jewish War Aid Gets $100,000 Gift." There it is. The Fund for Jewish War Sufferers in Central and Eastern Europe, where 6 million face horrifying conditions of famine, disease and death, was enriched yesterday by a contribution of $100,000 from Nathan Strauss. Where 6 million face horrifying conditions of famine, disease and death. 6 million face horrifying conditions of famine, disease and death. I'll just go down the rest of the article if anybody wants to read it. There's an article called "The Jewish War Aid Gets $100,000 Gift" in the New York Times, Friday, May the 7th, 1920. There's the New York Times again. This is 1921. There you go. New York Times, Wednesday, July the 20th, 1921. It's page 2 that I want. There we go. Page 2. Page 2. New York Times, July 20th, 1921. And the article is called "Begs America Save 6 million in Russia. Massacre threatens all Jews as Soviet power wanes, declares Kreinin, coming here for aid." Look at that. Russia's 6 million Jews of facing extermination by massacre.
Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to speed it up so I can get some precepts, okay? But you guys get the point. I just wanted to, let me see how far.
6 million. But the petition...
See, it goes all the way up to 1948. That they were predictive programming. Enchantments. That's what it is. It's witchcraft. It's enchantments. They were filling the public with lies using the newspaper. And so if they are lying to the public about their national identity, that means they have to lie to the public about the national identity of the people they have stolen. You can't take, there's 18 nations mentioned in Scripture, and one nation that is named this nation cannot take the identity of another nation, and then that nation has to have another identity given to themselves. And that's where our bywords came. So I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna pull up so you see it.
Achieved victory, as we assuredly.
For about 30 years before 1948, they were already talking about 6 million Jews. They were put, and then when 1948 went worldwide with the media, that was the lie they told. 6 million Jews were killed. Now let's get the precepts. Let's just get a couple of them, and then we'll be done. I want to go for, I believe it's Ezekiel 36. You got to see this, okay? Let me pull it up. Give me a second. Okay, look at this. So this is just one, but this, you got to open this up. So this is Ezekiel 36, and I'm going to read one, and I'm going to go down. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. So the ancient high places belong to the true 12 tribes of Israel. And another nation, an enemy, all right, we'll go into Psalms 83 to prove that. An enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Verse 3, therefore prophecy and say, thus saith the Lord God, because they have made you desolate. And this took place during our captivity, during our punishment to the Most High. But the Most High, just because he's judging us, doesn't mean he's not going to judge the other nations. He's a balanced God. He does everything in completion, right? So as he's chastising us for our past adulteries, and the enemy comes in to steal our identity while we are, on the bottom in slavery, the Most High is not going to judge them. Therefore, prophecy and say, thus saith the Lord God, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, and that's we're on the bottom, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen. That's talking about slavery, owners being owned by another race, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. What is this going into? What's that word infamy? It's like the bad kind of fame. What just like they're telling you through the media, they're the Jews, what do they tell you about us in the media? Exactly the same fucking race of people who are premeditating lies to the world about them being God's chosen people. They are purposely creating characters for our people to play in their movies, like gangsters and pimps, and they have them talk and act a certain way. Hip-hop is completely controlled by these people, and you see what kind of hip-hop artists are the ones that they sign. And they bring their cameras into our neighborhoods to show you the bad side of our people constantly. That's what this is going into. Verse 4, therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate waste and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and a derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy, listen to this, have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea. That is the Greek word for Edom. And Edom is where you get all the Edomites, and the Edomites are the so-called white people today, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy, and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I have lifted up mine hand. Surely the heathen that are about you, they shall bear their shame. But ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth as... So once he's done punishing us, he's going to smash them, and they're going to be under our feet. But ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth as branches, and yield your fruit to my people of Israel, for they are at hand to come. For behold, I am for you, and I will turn unto you, and ye shall be tilled and sown. And I will multiply men upon you, and the house of Israel, even all of it. And I will multiply upon you men and beasts, and they shall increase and bring fruit, and I will settle you after your old estate. I will bring you back to how things were, and will do better unto you than at your beginning. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Yea, I will cause men to walk upon you. So I'm going to stop there, because I don't want this lesson to be too long. Let's prove the enemies. This is going to be Psalms 83. Okay, let's bring it together. Let's bring it. Oh, I misspelled it. Salakia. P-A. Yikes. Salakia for that. Oh, man. So here we go. Look at this. Look. There's so much to this, and I don't even have enough time. I wanted that video to play. I don't want this lesson to be too long. So look, a Psalm of Asaph. This is another fiery, powerful man of Yahweh in David's tabernacle. Very powerful prophet on the harp. Keep not thou silent, O Yahweh, Most High. Hold not thy peace. Be not still, O power, for lo, thine enemies. And if they're the Most High's enemies, that means they are our enemies, because we are the Israelites. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. What was the method of them doing this? During our captivity, during our slavery, during our punishment, and during their rulership, and them being given technology on the left-hand side, they were able to lie to the world using their media to enchant the minds of the world. They are the Jews. And who are we? We are the pimps, the thugs, the criminals. We're the crackheads. We're the wetbacks. We're the Indians. Look what they did to the Northern Kingdom in all the cowboy movies. Look what they did to us in all the gangster movies and slave movies, right? And then look what they do to us on the nightly news every fucking night. The same race of people telling you that they're the Jews. They have said, come, let us come, cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Look at this. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Israel has no friends among the nations, okay? So the fact that America is friends with the people that are in Israel shows you they're not lining up with this. So look at 6. The tabernacle of Edom, again, pointed out, Idumea, the so-called white man, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagareans, Gebal and Ammon, and Amalek, that's the grandson of Esau, who is now the head tribe of Edom. And this is your so-called Jewish people right here. That's the tribe. Verse 7 is that specific group of people. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot Salah. Do unto them. So we got to curse these people. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook Kidron. Look, go down one more. Verse 12. This is the point. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. And when did they do this? They did it here, you guys. After they prepared, after they prepared the minds of the people of the earth with their enchantments. Come on, man. What the fuck? I wanted to show you the video before I went to, because I already have my point made. What the fuck, man? After they prepared the minds of the nations with everybody, using. Now this fucking internet doesn't want to. This is pissing me off, dude. So now after they did this, they all the preparation. Right? All this preparation. The New York Times is a major fucking newspaper, you guys. And it was through this vehicle that they were telling the people that they're the Jews, right? They possess, let's do it, the Balfour Declaration. And the Balfour Declaration took place, it was a process between 1917 and it was fulfilled in 1948. Balfour Declaration. That motherfucker's not an Israelite. That is a pink fucking Edomite from the tribe of Amalek, the British. Okay? This is what they did. This is it. So once World War II got everybody emotional and the Germans, we're under, they were able to slither in. Look at this. Overview. The Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during the First World War, announcing its support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, then on Ottoman region with a small minority Jewish population, and it was fulfilled in 1948. So this is it, right? And then the prophecy tells you a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. And Ashdod is in Israel. And the bastard is talking about the Edomites. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. And I will take away his blood out of his mouth, and his abominations from between his teeth. But he that remaineth, even he shall be before us. And that's Zechariah. All right? Everything happening on the movie. The whole earth is a movie that was written and directed by the Most High. And carried out by the host of heaven in those chariots, the so-called UFOs. The angels are directing the minds and the hearts of all the people on the earth according to prophecy. And this is why all this is happening. And when you understand prophecy like that, you can explain the things that are happening in the earth. Zechariah 9:8, and I will encamp about mine house because of the army, because of him that passes by. Hold up, I got the wrong one, my bad. Where are you at? Salakia. So chapter 9, verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell, Zechariah chapter 9, verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. And now look, now the balance, right? The Most High allows it to happen, and then he sends his son to judge it for the controversy of Zion. And Zion is not only a location, a physical location, it's the government, it's the ruling government of Israel, which consists of Yahushai, King David, Malach Dawadah, and the 144,000 chosen. This is why the Edomites call themselves Zionists. You got to understand, everything about that people is a counterfeit. They have a 9-candle menorah, when the menorah is only supposed to be 7 candles. They call themselves the Israelis, when we are the Hebrew Israelites. Everything's one letter or one number. It's crazy how, but when you see it closely, for controversy of Zion. Let me see what that pulls it up. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. And if you look at Isaiah, look at this. Pull it up. You bastard. For the controversy of Zion. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of his recompense for the controversy of Zion. Okay? So there is going to be a payback for this, right? There's going to be a pay. So look at this. Let's read further up. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Heaven is talking about the rulership on the earth. And who's in rulership on the earth right now? The so-called white man, which is Edom. And on top of Edom is who? Amalek, the so-called Jewish people. You have to understand this. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats. Talking about when he burns all these people up, he's going to burn them. Their fat is going to be fuel in that fire. With the fat of the kidneys of rams, he's speaking poetically here. For Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra. And this is what the word Holocaust means. I believe it means a burnt offering, you guys. So the elect on the left-hand side, the wicked, they perverted all this shit, bro. Okay? For Yahweh hath to sacrifice in Basra. Basra is a chief city in Seir or Edom, right? It's like saying New York, or Los Angeles, California, right? That's what Basra is, and Basra is a chief city of the Edomites, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Idumea is Edom. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, for the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone. Why? Because the nuclear fallout. He's going to fucking drop bombs on these motherfuckers, and the chariots are going to burn them up. And the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched night nor day. You can line this up with the smoke ascending forever and ever over in Revelation. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. No one's going to inhabit America ever again. And he is going to bomb Israel because it needs to be cleansed. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also, and the raven. So I just wanted to show this really quick. The lesson was really long, so apologize for the beginning, but you have to see this, what these people have done. This is why they are called the wicked, man. And you shall know a man by his fruits. And they have done things that no other race of people on the earth have ever done and gotten away with. Their judgment is going to be different from everybody else's, you guys. They're the only nation that doesn't get mercy. And this is where Christianity is so bad. And I was a Christian my whole life. Christianity, the doctrine of Western Renaissance Christianity, doesn't teach the scriptures the correct way. There's a ton. This lesson should be 3 hours, but we've been advised to keep our lessons shorter because people don't pay attention. But you can go into even the book of Maccabees. You can see, if you just go through the scriptures, you can see the constant aggression of the nations against Israel. Every time Israel would either go into captivity for disobedience, and they would lose their temple, the nations, all of the nations, always fought the Israelites to stop building their temple. It's an ongoing thing. My brother Yashimai just did a lesson, an awesome lesson today, talking about that. What has been shall be, talking about reincarnation. The same spirits keep coming on the earth. And see, that's another thing. Western Renaissance Christianity doesn't teach reincarnation. So as a result of not understanding reincarnation, you don't understand judgment and the cycles of what's happening on the earth. And you can't interpret prophecy correctly. So I hope there's look, Salakia, there's still more information on this. But Israel, the people who are in Israel claiming to be Jews, they shouldn't have a good relationship with America. America claims to be a separate race from the Jews and people, even though they're the same. And this is why they give them billions of dollars every year. Because you can't find that nowhere in the Bible except for during Solomon's reign when the nations were bringing in money. Every other time outside of that, and that was because the Most High gave us rest. Every time after that, King David, everybody, we were fighting the heathen, man, constantly at war with them, subjugating them, or us being subdued by our God because we committed adultery, and then he would allow temporary possession over us by another nation and then raise us back up, and it would always be an issue. They would always freak out when we'd start restoring our temple. Yet everybody in America under Christianity is, the third temple in Israel, when the third temple is going to be the bodies of the elect men of Israel, not a building. Anyways, I'm way past my time. Salaki for that. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakakadas, and I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great Muslim whom I learn from, and a shalom to the whole elect out there taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect brothers of Israel to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.